Welcome to the Beatmik channel. Today I'm reviewing the Ronin-sc for the GH5. Let's hit! So what's up guys, thanks for coming to the channel. So the Ronin-sc, the lightweight gimbal from DJI products. It's another DJI product. I have the DJI Mavic Air. Love that thing. And you know, I've come to love this thing as well. What really sold me on this gimbal is not its ability to keep a steady image. That's what gimbals do. They're great at that. What really sold me is, although this is an awesome gimbal, it's also kind of a one-man film crew because it comes with point-to-point tracking motion where you can do A, B, C up to 9, I think it's 9 tracking points, where you can add in your tracking points so you can have it do pans, tilts, kind of everything that you need to set up a nice shot. But it also does active track. Okay, so the phone is connected to the gimbal with Bluetooth, telling the gimbal what direction to go. And then the camera I just have remotely. I can actually monitor the camera with the app with the Samsung. That's one of the reasons I used a tablet in this video to make it easier for me to see, but I can't get it working on the tablet right now, so I don't know. And as somebody who is primarily a solo filmmaker, I got really excited. So this was half the price of the Ronin-sc, came with all these extra capabilities. It made me a one-man film crew. So what I thought I would do for this review is put together a solo film where I could show you what the capabilities are and I would learn what the capabilities are. So without further ado, I bring you my short video. At the end of the film, I'll run down the difficulties, challenges I had in making the film and show you some of the behind the scenes and frustrations that may have come from that. What? Yeah, well. Oh yeah, I'm good. gonna be rich. That's okay, right? A little bit of special effects in there. So that was all done with the DaVinci Resolve 15 suite. If there's any interest, I can also run through kind of how I put that together with my edits. So let me know in the comments if you think that would be something useful to yourself. So through the process of making my short film, I got a really good idea of the pros and cons for this gimbal. The GH5 is one of the cameras that the ronin-sc has programmed into it. So just with one Type-C cable, you plug into your GH5 into the ronin-sc, and automatically it just has control. So you can use the shutter button here. You can half press it for focus, which is a game changer as far as I'm concerned. Or you can even use the follow focus wheel if your lens is set up for it. I know that the Leica 12-35 lens works with it, as does the Leica 42.5. But it has to be one of the lenses they have on their list. I think there's only like 5 lenses. But what's cool is that you plug it in and it works. Now, I will say that this particular follow focus that works with the lens with a motor doesn't work great. You're going to be turning the focus wheel a lot to get it to move a little bit. It almost might as well not work at all. Now, I looked around inside the app to see if you can adjust the sensitivity to the wheel, and I was unable to find it. There's a chance that it does exist, but I just wasn't able to find it. But I will say that in combination with the half press shutter to get your focus and then using this for minor tweaks in the focus, it works great. It works fantastic. And these pumpkin shots here I did with the follow focus in half shutter. It's nice to be able to get pinpoint focus while you have this on the gimbal. That's one of the challenging things to do. Okay, so when I picked up the Ronin-sc, I got it with the Pro bundle, which came with the follow focus wheel and the attachments to make any lens follow focusable. It comes with this little unit here. The follow focus wheel kind of goes onto this rod here, and then you can control the focus using the focus wheel on the gimbal. Okay, makes sense. But the first thing I noticed when I installed this is the way you're expected to install it goes something like this. Exactly like this, really. And what that does is puts the rod right over top of your battery. So you can't access your battery without taking this whole unit off, which is a real pain because you actually have 3 screws to undo in order to get this off. So I tried putting it on backwards, but it didn't look like you had enough space to install the cables at the same time. I came across a really good YouTube called Mad RC. I'll link it right here. He shows you how to install the follow focus unit backwards on your GH5 and get the full capabilities and still have access to your battery compartment. Just thought that was worth noting, specifically because this is a Ronin-sc GH5 specific review. I also really enjoy the vlogging capability of this, actually. I mean, it is heavy, but to be able to triple click, spin it around, and then spin it around again, although gimmicky, it's actually pretty useful when you're out there using it. If you're going to be talking to your camera every now and then, like I said, I think what it does, this gimbal, it gives you extra capabilities that you didn't have before. I know you can just turn your camera and face it to you, and that was my argument before I had a gimbal. But now that I have it, it's a lot cooler to spin it in a smooth motion. You know what I mean? Another thing I really like are the locks on it. I've used other gimbals before that don't have the locks, and to be able to lock this puppy down and then, you know, chuck this thing in your backpack just like this, and it's not kind of loosey-goosey all flying around, huge pro in my books. And then third thing, it's just a really great Gandalf staff.
Thou shalt not pass!
So the exciting thing about this gimbal for me was the active track / point A, B settings where you can set robotic points to pan it. Very exciting concept. I will tell you that active track with this little guy, the Mavic Air, kind of amazing. Man, it sticks the same distance to you. It's smooth. I could not believe how good it was, which is interesting because I've used it before. I tried to film myself for this shot riding a dirt bike away, and I had to do that about 6 different times and it always lost me. So I think that I was just too fast, just a touch, just a hair. I think you'd be okay going 30 kilometers an hour, but that doesn't look great. With a dirt bike, you got to go a bit faster, so it kept losing me. But for these running sequences, this thing was amazing. It's like an eye in the sky. The problem with using this is that now with drone law, the restrictions that you have to fly them just make it really difficult. So I had to find a fairly secluded place in order to film any of this in the first place, especially because you're not controlling it when you're active tracking. So to be honest, I don't know if that's legal anywhere with a drone that's over 250 grams, but hey, you got to do certain things for art, right?
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
The interesting thing about that is you would expect that the active track for this guy would work the same way. But I can tell you from experience that it does not. If you're filming yourself, you're going to find that it loses you quite often and you have to come back to the machine to start it up again or just kind of get it to spot you again. It's not really great when you get far away, as you kind of can expect, and it's really not great if you're doing these fast pans like I was doing these fast runs. It doesn't take much for it to lose you from the active track mode. I'm not going to say that it's not worth getting for that feature. I think that it truly is. I think it added a lot to my video and I will continue to use it. But I will say that it's finicky at best. It's probably even cooler when you're filming other people. Even in the commercials, they show like a wedding filmographer filming the people getting married and he's using active track, so he never misses a scene. And the reason why it's easier to film other people is because if you can imagine the phone is on this camera and the main camera is pointing out that way, so I have the phone facing me so that I can pick the point to active track on. Well, what happens when you're filming yourself is the camera is facing you. So you can't see the active track unless you get a mirror behind you in order to set it up. So that kind of sucks. You're kind of left blind. Now, that said, once I had myself centered in the frame and knew exactly what was going on, the nice thing about it is the gimbal is set up to activate it using the trigger button. So you can actually just hold it like this, tap the trigger button, see that it's got you captured, and then you go from there. The active track also drains your battery of your phone quite quickly. When I was out there filming, I'm using my phone on the drone already. Sometimes I'm using the phone to capture my voice, and then you throw it on for active track. My phone was not lasting a full session. I had to run to the car and charge it up all the time because everything's using the phone battery. It would be nice if some of these systems were standalone or came with their own screens so you don't have to use your phone for everything that we have that's coming out, especially from DJI. So in conclusion, This thing is a beast. It's an amazing gimbal. It's an amazing filmmaker's tool for anyone who films solo. It has point A, B, programmable robot mode. It has active track that will follow you around. The way that it syncs up to your GH5 just with one cable, and it automatically works with a few specific Leica lenses, automatically works with the follow focus. Setup is easy. With the locks that you can, in order to set up and balance your cameras, it's as easy as it gets with a gimbal, other than like automatic setup, which will come in the future. But as far as I know, this is as easy as any other gimbal, if not easier than any other gimbal on the market. But what really gets me excited about this is its ability to increase my creativity with my short films, to be able to add some panning motions, to be able to have it follow me while I'm walking by. And for the price, you can't beat it. You get it with the Pro system, where you get the follow focus motor to be able to link the follow focus with any of your manual lenses for an extra $100. You can't beat it. That's why I bought it. I saw the value in it, and I think any of you that are on the fence about which gimbal to get, I don't think you would be unhappy if you pick this one up. And so that's my final thoughts. Let me know what you think. Add your voice in the comments below. If you have an idea for a short that you'd like me to try, I'm always interested in new ideas of things to try out. And other than that, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you with the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Boxes are defeating, purpose always fleeting. I pose questions to the ceiling like an answer gonna come. Truth is too revealing, life is easier concealing all emotions till they start on your heart going numb. I shouldn't be in drive more, I just wanna feel alive more. I feel hurt all the time, boy, I can't see straight. I've been running on the freeway till I get blinded by the headlights. They go past me, I see the last me that I ever will be. And that got me asking if living this lightly, has that been the right thing? Or should I been a little bit more focused on the place that my feet needed to go? And as they go past me, I see the last me that I ever will be. And that got me asking if living this lightly, has that been the right thing? Or should I been more focused on where feet wanted to go?
It kind of gives you that wizard staff feeling, like a future wizard, maybe like a steampunk wizard. Like once it's all set up, you feel like you could be in an anime. This is like my Final Fantasy weapon. It's a mace. It's a camera mace. Nobody's talking about that.